Alright, in this video I want to go over Powerline Ethernet. This actually takes Ethernet and inputs it into your electrical wall sockets. So two devices talk to each other through the electrical wall sockets and electrical power lines in your house. And you don't have to pull any cable. You don't have to run cables across the floor, hire a contractor to run wires in your house. And you don't have to rely on wireless networking. Now, with that said, there's a concept called Powerline where two devices still talk to one another through the power lines. There's still a network jack, but the second device can actually extend your wireless network. So they can be wired only, or you can have one that's wireless and one that's wired. Now let me explain how this works. One device, let's just say it's this one, plugs into your router through Ethernet. You'll have an Ethernet jack on the bottom. Both of them will. So you plug that one in near your router, and it will come with about a 6-foot Ethernet cord. So you want to plug it in into an electrical wall socket. And again, not a power strip, as I said in other videos. Do not plug this into a power strip. Plug it directly into the wall, and then a network cable goes from the bottom of that device, in this case, to the router. And then the second one plugs in within 6 feet, directly into an electrical wall outlet socket, whatever you want to call it, near your computer, game console, tablet. You can get an Ethernet adapter for your tablet. There's more hardware that's needed if you want to use your phone and tablet with this. You have to buy an Ethernet adapter, but you could do that. Also, your smart TV, Roku, like streaming player, or game console already mentioned. There's numerous devices that you can plug into. It could be a security camera, whatever device that you're trying to plug into your router is where you plug in the second one. Now, here's what I got to warn you. This one has 2 network cables. So let's just say, or 2 network jacks. So if this plugs into the wall socket near your router, do not plug both of these ports into the router. The second port is there in case you have another device that's near your router and say all your jacks on your router are used up. Well, this gives you another device. There is something called a routing loop in a broadcast storm. I'd have to go in deep into a network topic that I'm not going to go into, but just trust me on this. Your Linksys or your Netgear or whatever you're using is not going to be smart enough to use both of these ports. Do not plug both of them into the router. One jack gets the router, or the other jack, if you use it at all, gets another computer or whatever. It gets another device that you're trying to connect to the router. And then the other one. So again, I'm not saying that you can't use both jacks. Let me just be clear on that. What I am saying is, do not plug both jacks into the same device. Okay, whether that would be a router, whether it's a computer with 2 Ethernet ports on it. Don't plug 2. Well, and most likely it's going to be your router. Don't plug both of these into your router. Only one goes to your router. Okay, just want to make sure I'm clear. So the other thing is, these devices will have push button security, and here you can see it on this one more clearly. You can see it; it's right here on this one. But right here, there's a button that you can press. You press and hold it once, and then you have 2 minutes, or actually you press and hold it for 2 seconds. Then you have 2 minutes to go to your other device and press and hold that for 2 seconds, and then they will sync up with a security passphrase. This is only important if you're in an apartment or some shared building with other people, condo, apartment, townhouse, things like that. Single-family homes, you might worry about it, but that's only if somebody plugs into your outside power outlet. And also, these, they're standardized in some ways, but I have tried to mix and match vendors, and I have not gotten these to work. Mixing vendors. So it's very unlikely that a stranger will come by with their laptop and plug it into your outside power outlet and tap into it, but if you want to be safe, that option is there. Okay, and then there's a little pinhole right there that you can stick a paper clip into to reset it in case you hose something up. Maybe you manually, maybe you used the software that came with it and you went in there and typed in a password and you forgot it, and all of a sudden you don't know what it is, so you can't put it on the other one. Simply just take a paper clip and reset it. But these are plug and play. Okay, I don't want to complicate this. You literally plug this in and hook the connection up, and it's working. The only complication is if you want to set up the security, which again is not really all that necessary in a single family home. Now again, here's an option where this would plug in into a power outlet within 6 feet of your router, and then you could plug an Ethernet cable from there to your router, and it only has one jack, so I'm not really worried with this one about plugging 2 jacks into the router. And then this one you would plug basically somewhere in your house that gives you a better Wi-Fi signal, and you can also plug it near your PS4, your game console, Xbox, whatever, and still have it hardwired to your game console. It's just that now, if you're having a bad Wi-Fi signal, now all of a sudden when you have this, you could have the best of both worlds, wired and wireless. So I hope that helps. I'll put a link in the description below. And just one other note, there's also a technology called Mocha. So I just described how the two, basically these two adapters talk via your power lines. Well, this does the same thing over coax. Now, here's the thing with coax, okay? Satellite providers, like when we had DirecTV installed at our house, the satellite company installed Mocha adapters so the two boxes would talk to one another. It's the same concept. You plug one in near your router, and instead of, well, yeah, there's an Ethernet jack as well. And then, let's see, how does it, well, yeah, so then one of these goes to your outlet, your coax outlet, and then you have another jack so you can still plug a TV or a box into it. So this would go to the wall, the box or TV would plug into this, and that way you're not stealing a jack. Now, again, your satellite company, if you have a new installation, probably already has this installed so the boxes talk to one another. Cable company, the same thing. In new installations, I can see this working if you have an antenna, like a roof antenna or an attic antenna. And if you have a wall jack for those, and let's just say you have one upstairs and one downstairs, one near your router and then one in another room somewhere on another floor or in another room, well, then you can use this and it won't interfere with your antenna signal. So that works pretty good as well. Now there is one other standard, and that's called Home PNA, and that uses your phone jack wiring. Actually is the same concept. That's old and legacy. There are used equipment out there. That's called Home PNA. It only runs at 10 megs a second. It's an option if you want it. So don't forget to give this video a like, give it a thumbs up, and I'll have links in the description below so you can buy these products. Thanks for watching.